Well, this concludes our Memorial Day weekend celebration and commemoration of the fallen soldiers and our people in our service. And sitting right beside me, I have Mr. Bruce, pastor of Show Me Cowboy Church. And how many years did you have in the service?
31.
And in
31
what, in what branch?
In U.S. Navy Seabees.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
And then set to the side of you, we have another Mr. Dan Esri, sir.
Thank you.
So honored and glad to have you. I mean, every time I see this gentleman at the coffee shop, he's always my hero. I always tell him that. I really, really do. And Mr. Dan Esri, tell me something about some of your service, just a little bit.
Well, I served on a carrier. I worked the flight deck. I was in V2 division. I was arresting gear. And was in the 6-day war. I was on the ship in '67. And then I transferred into the Navy Seabees. I got a school after leaving the carrier. I went into the Naval Construction Battalions. I had a school which they called an A school. Went to it. Then after leaving A school, they give you combat training, and that was in California. And then I went eventually to Vietnam. And of course, Bruce was a CM, which was a construction mechanic, and I was a BU, which was a builder. But in our battalion, we had all the different occupations, you know.
Now, some people might not know exactly what your job meant. I know what, because you've told me that you was on the flight deck to stop the airplanes and with the cables and things, and you managed all that. Very, very dangerous job. And when those cables would snap, it'd be the end of the rope for everybody.
Yeah, that's why they pay you hazardous duty.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. That is such a big deal. And I tell you what, during the 6-day war in Israel was fighting for their existence. With the carrier that you was on, they put the nuclear bombs right on top. So that you told me that story.
Yes, they did. Well, what they did, it's always a show of force, and they have a carrier group that's there. There was always 2 ships. There was when we were in there was Saratoga, which I was on, and there was the America. And then, like, whenever they go into battle conditions, they'll have 20 other ships around you. And it's to protect those carriers. And they always had a Russian trawler following us alongside. It was out a few miles. And then, like, whenever that 6-day war happened, why there was Russian bears, their planes, and they'd get real low to us. You could see the pilots in there. And they'd bring up the planes with the nuclear bombs on them and everything. You could always tell them we'd have the Marines stationed around them and everything. And during that 6-day war, the pilots had to stay in their planes all day. They'd transfer them out, put new pilots in, but there's always somebody in that plane ready to go.
I've studied that war quite often, and Russia wanted to get involved. And they once ahead because once they realized that Russia was beating their very, very, very best, especially from the Egyptian and from the Syrian side, they wanted to get involved. And the United States, thanks to your service, said, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to be a bad hair day if you do. So we kind of curtailed that from being a nuclear war. So anyway, Brother Bruce, it's all yours. Can you finish it for us?
Yes, what I wanted to do is, Roger, just realize what we're really celebrating this weekend. And it always takes me back, and you can ask Felicia, my wife, Memorial Day always kind of hits me really hard. And as we had our hot dogs and our hamburgers tonight, Sister Bev said it whenever she wrote the song about Desert Storm. And when I went to Iraq when I was 52 years old. Of all things, you know, I spent 25 years training, and Dan was in Vietnam. I just missed Vietnam, which was right on the border of my age. So I spent 25 years training to go to Iraq whenever I was 52 years old. But what I always want to talk about is the 8 people within our command that gave their life so that we could be free. We always think about Arlington Cemetery being 639 acres of why we were able to eat hot dogs tonight, why we were able to have hamburgers, and why we were able to sit here and sing patriotic songs. But I want to tell this, there was 2 young ladies that gave their lives under our command in Iraq in 2006. One of them I had sat and ate at the chow hall the day before she was killed and had actually talked with her and knew her. Another one was, we talk about people crossing the border illegally. And I want people to realize this, that there was this young Mexican girl that her mom had brought her and her brother to the United States of America the right way, the legal way. And this young girl gave her life because she was killed by a sniper in Iraq. She gave her life to become a citizen of the United States of America. And so I think it's so very important that the world understands why we have Memorial Day, is to honor those. And the other 6, besides the 2 young ladies, of young men and even a man that was close to my age, who gave his life so that we could be free. So I want everybody to remember that tonight as you listen to this and think about all these patriotic songs. There's people that have gave their life in defense of this country. Now, one other thing that I want to bring up, and I always want people to realize this, is as we think about Memorial Day, I want you to think about your firefighters, your emergency medical personnel, your police officers, all those that are in the country that do the same thing. Because we can personally say this, that our son lost his life fighting a fire right here in Webster County. So please, don't forget what Memorial Day is really about. As we sat here and we sang and we have a good time, it's so very important that we remember what Memorial Day is really all about. And that's what I want to, as Forrest Gump always said, that's all I got to say about that, Roger.
That's right, that's right. I think you did. Well, I'll tell you what, in behalf of the Ranch House, thank you so very, 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 very much. Thank you everyone who here that came to listen and to commemorate this great weekend, and thank the Lord for a good country that we still have, and a lot of good people who are still here, and all our good people who are still in the military today, to training every day to keep us safe. And in behalf of everyone here, thank you so much. Thank you.